So my name is Becker Sanchez. I'm a first generation immigrant from Peru. And just a few years ago, I actually found out that filmmaking was my calling. I've been running around, joking around, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and going from like medical to working with kids and doing different things. But I found out that I like making content, making films, and recently I'm just writing a script on a short film that I'm trying to put out on my Instagram, and it's about a guy who's running, and he's dealing with self-doubt, and he's just trying to figure out if this is what he really wants to do. This is an 8-second demo. But yeah, go ahead and play. So as a second demo, I used AI to make it, but I'm gonna shoot it myself with my camera. And I'm probably gonna be looking for some people to work on this if I can get any help with sound or just any cinematography. I'm interested in working with cinematography, editing, possibly directing, but anything I can get my hands on. I look forward to just making friends, making sure I can get people to collaborate on different projects.
All right. Give it up for Becker.
Okay, guys.
All right, keeping it moving. We got Kayla. Kayla coming up. Kayla. Give it up for Kayla. Give it up
Come
for
on,
Kayla.
we're losing energy. Come on.
Hello everyone, my name is Kayla Sanchez. My stage name is Kayla Love Golden. I would like to present myself as an IT health and design graduate and also creative content talent. And here's my video that explains my story.
Hello everyone, I'm Kayla Love Golden, an emerging guest star actress and commercial model. I worked in iconic platforms like the New York Apple Times Square big screen feature and international and national magazine covers as a cover model. I'm gearing up for Fashion Week shows in New York and Los Angeles. With a unique blend of performance and tech skills, I bring creativity and collaboration to productions. My skills include performing in productions, collaborating with tech and admin teams, providing creative problem solving and administrative support. I'm very passionate about making a lasting impact in the entertainment and driving positive change in the world. I'm excited to collaborate with like-minded individuals and organizations to create something very remarkable. Let's work together to make a lasting global impact. Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Kayla.
Okay, we are down to our last 5. All right, I'm gonna need y'all to stand up, shake it out. Come on, stand up. Get energy up. Last 5. So make sure y'all pay attention to what's going on. They may have a need that you need filled, or you may be able to serve. Okay, so coming to the stage now. This young brother is very exceptional. He's a visionary like myself. He's young, but he has direction. He knows exactly what he wants. Let's give it up for Keon Hill.
Hello, everybody. Hello, okay. Hello, everybody. How's y'all doing? Everybody good? Everybody good? Wow. Amazing. Yeah. So, when I started speaking, can you start the time when I started? All right. Only 2% of actors make it in Hollywood. Only 2%. Now, that statistic used to scare me. Now I live by it. My name is Keon Thomas. I'm an actor, writer, and producer from South LA. You know, growing up, I didn't have like a straight line path into the industry. You know, my brother passed away when I was 6, and without a father at home, I was immediately plagued as a man in the house, constantly having to hustle to help my mom do different things. And throughout all that chaos, I found storytelling. And it was watching entertainers like Kevin Hart, Will Smith, you know, mimicking characters, being different personas, Class Clown. All of those different things helped me along the way, you know, and you know, but the different things that I didn't let it deter me, because people did tease me. I didn't let it deter me, and that reality let me be able to do what I'm able to do, you know. And And it made me proud because all the different accomplishments that I made along the way. I've got an agent. I've been booked as a paid actor for Kiki Farmers Production. I'm part of NBC Universal Talent Program. And my most proudest accomplishment is my series Mad City that I created. And throughout this all, I say I don't have it all figured out. I don't have all the answers, but with the guidance of you, the help of you guys, I believe that young stories can be heard and told at a high level. And that's the different things that I'm trying to do and I'm trying to pursue. So please, I ask you to help me throughout my journey, and I ask for guidance, mentorship. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tim.
Were y'all taking notes? I speak loud enough. Were y'all taking notes? What I did like, first of all, it was off book. His presence was there, so it's like, I feel like those of you who are actors, and those of you, and not even necessarily who want to be in front of the camera, I think public speaking is something that is very important because we're all pitching. I don't care if you're a producer or a director, after you finish one job, you're on, you're auditioning for the next. So I feel like being able to be comfortable, being able to talk about your dreams and what you want and your ambitions succinctly and powerfully is something that I feel like everyone should develop. Okay, keeping it moving. We got Bianca Cruz. Give it up. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Bianca. I recently graduated from Cal State University in Northridge, like a lot of you. I majored in cinematography, specifically for television production narrative. But I ended up moving more into directing as of recently. For the past year, I was interning with a company called Vendetta Entertainment as an executive assistant to the founder, where I was able to kind of watch their directors, the freelance directors, and kind of see what companies were looking for. Through that experience, I was able to start freelancing myself as a director. I've directed music videos, a commercial, and I'm currently looking for a mentor to kind of help me find my way through that. I started my own freelance company as well, where I continue to make music videos, and I've really brought in like my friends and my family. I'm a huge champion for that, so I'm here not only for myself, but for them as well.
Yay! Nice.
Okay, we got Dylan Elliott. Dylan Elliott.
Hello, my name is Dylan Elliott. I am an editor that specializes in entertainment marketing. I am just so excited to be here, seeing all these beautiful faces and hearing what everyone has to do. In this industry, it is important that we all have skills that is what people say is a multi-foundational, where you're able to exercise multiple things as a part of being in this industry. I work as a graphic designer, not just an editor, but I also do audio engineering for my local church. I DJ from time to time, and it's just a wonderful thing to participate in such a creative endeavor, to be able to learn and grow. And me personally, I also do illustration work, and all of this that I do is to focus towards my goal of becoming an art director. I believe that it is important to understand not just what happens in one vocation, such as editing, but to have a collection of understanding about the artistic endeavors that you're trying to participate in order to properly communicate the vision that you want to have for whatever project that you want to do. And that is the reason why that I've been working in so many different aspects and locations that I am currently exploring. And that is my dream, my goal, and I am, hopefully through the Dakar Foundation, I'll be able to find work in the avenues that I want to do. And thank you for listening, thank you for being here, and I appreciate everyone here. I hope to get everyone's names and numbers and everything.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we have another Dakar staple. This young man works really hard. He's a man of faith. And I like being in this energy. I want to try to give a very, very warm welcome to this special young man, CJ Campbell.
Hey yo, Sweaty! It's CJ Campbell. I also go by Shorts McFly. I am a multidisciplinary artist who started off writing short films and poetry. Then I started making music and freestyling like Juice WRLD. And then now I'm just trying to be as helpful as I can. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man style, you know what I'm saying? Peter Parker mode sometimes. So if you want to kick it, you want to work on something, write something, pre, post, or during production, I got you. You dig?
All right. I know you're going to the mic.
I was going to say Miles Morales, but okay. All right. So we have our final speaker tonight. I want y'all to give it up.
But we have a couple
Wait,
more.
wait, wait.
We have a couple more.
We got more people?
Yeah.
I'm finding this out real time. Hold on. Psych.
So we're gonna bring. Yeah, let's bring. We're gonna let Sienna finish.
Okay.
Um,
Who we got coming?
These are some new friends from the Brotherhood Crusade, so we wanted to add them. They're a community partner. So I'm going to pass the mic because I can't remember their names. I'm sorry. Go ahead, take it from there.
One job, brother. One job.
Hi, my name's Brenna. Thanks for having me. Yes, I was a last-minute addition. I am a director, assistant director, and editor, and I'm from the East Coast. I moved out here in 2019, and I've been here ever since. I grew up with the fun of film, mostly in editing. I took high school classes and learned like Avid and got my certification. And I learned DaVinci and Adobe Resolve when I got out here. And I won my first film festival award for best editing in 2022. But I do love being on set, and I learned that coming out here. I love being a leader and a team player. I have great time management. Uplifting others is always a must. A creative problem solver, approachable, a good listener. I'm a question asker. Good vibes, and also I just want to help. I put in my all into every project I commit to, and my goal is to explore more of my interests. And no, I cannot pick one, but I'm hoping to explore and get given an opportunity to explore gripping and G&E and production design and advance my knowledge in assistant directing, and editing. And I hope that my future projects I work on align with what I love most, which is to laugh and feel good, but also to address important issues and make people feel. And I hope to find that within the Dakar apprenticeship, and I'm honored to be in the room with you guys and listening to all your stories, and I'm excited to talk to you later.
All right. So Chris, yes, have them introduce themselves.
Okay. So, in light of new developing events, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Who next? Come on up. Introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Amy.
All right.
Sabaidi. My name is Amy. My family immigrated here from Laos, and I'm born from refugee parents. So I'm a first-generation CSUN College graduate for screenwriting. Graduated this past May, and I'm very excited. I have a large background in AR in finance, so I'm pivoting from that and from comics. So I've done a lot of comic conventions like San Diego Comic-Con. I'm a frequent exhibitor, frequent analyst. I'm working at a comic with Ken Foree of Dawn of the Dead fame, also Kenan and Kel fame. And now I want to devote my time to filmmaking and screenwriting. And recently I was a development intern for Creative Entertainment, and they're one of the companies behind Yellow Jackets. And also I'm a St. Jude Children's Research Hospital ambassador, so I had the privilege to visit the campus and learn a lot about the organization and bring more awareness. And also, I'm also involved with Acer Entertainment, and right now we're working on a film called Ballroom, and it's a story about dancing with wheelchair users. And lastly, just more of a personal note, I was a wrestler in high school, so I was only female in the boys wrestling team, so that was interesting. And I just hope to represent, Laos really well, because we just had our first female director like 5 years ago, Maddie Doe. So I think whatever I can glean in knowledge, I want to share that with everybody. And I appreciate y'all so much.
All right, okay, we are shutting it down. We got two more people. Two more people. Come on up. Oh, I met her earlier. She's a phenom. Go ahead. You introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? My name is Emmy McDonald. I am a New England born and raised photographer. I am new to the Los Angeles arena, and I am looking to expand my range into the cinematography, the DP, and the directing world. I want to become a production and a marketing powerhouse. I got my background in photography thanks to my dad. Being one of 13 siblings, we had to find some way to remember all of my cousins, nieces, nephews. And moving forward into the world of Instagram and YouTube, I just fell in love with the aesthetics and bringing everyday, mundane life into something much bigger than that. I want to travel this world and tell stories. I want to take time and phrase it. I want to share with people. I want to share with businesses. I want to help a small business grow into an empire, and I want to see people turn into figureheads thanks to my work. Moving forward, I would love to work with major studios, major artists. I would love to see myself working on a Sony commercial or with BMW. And from the Dakar apprenticeship, I really want to be a sponge and learn the art of filmmaking, the art of directing, the art of marketing, and help people grow their businesses. Thank you guys all so much.
Woo! Okay, now we're into the end.
You can practice. You can practice. It's not mine. They won't mind. Okay, so closing down the show, we have a small concert, Tiny Desk concert. Sia.
Hey everybody, my name is Sayana. I'm a singer, songwriter, TEDx speaker, actress, and psychology student, originally from Austria, Vienna. And I've just graduated my UCLA Extension Music Business Certificate, and I'm currently working on my next album while being in the process of applying for my artist visa. For a long time, I was struggling with mental health, anxiety, and insecurity issues. But let's just say, life kicked me in the butt, and I realized that if I'm not gonna start putting myself out there now, I might never do it. And I started going for it. I started doing everything in my power to live out that dream. And over the last 8 years, I built up my artistic career, released several songs, and I earned my acting degree, and I toured all around Germany and Austria, and I'm now here. And one of my biggest achievements so far was that I got to have a TEDx talk where I combined my music with an emotional speech about overcoming an eating disorder.
Sorry, I'm not sure why I'm not getting sound. Bear with me one moment.
You called Mike.
Well, due to technical difficulties, Santa, just pick it up where you can.
Put an extra 30 on the clock.
Yeah, let's give her the next extra 30 seconds. Yeah, it's not gonna work,
Okay,
so.
it's not working. You can check it out on YouTube.
It's on your Beacons page.
It's on my Beacons page too. So,
Okay.
however, I want to use my platforms to advocate mental health, to create a platform where people feel seen and inspired. And I'm looking forward to working with other creatives and to work on new projects, whether it's as an actress or as a musician or as an administrative helper. And I aim to inspire others as much as others inspire me. Because at the end of the day, we're all born to inspire. We were born to inspire. Can you sing that with me? We were born.
Let it go, let it go.
Born to inspire. Thank you so much.
You know me, Stevie? You know me, Stevie? Stevie Wonder?
What? Yeah, I know Stevie Wonder.
Of course you do. You're a musician. You know. All right, so everybody, thank you so much for coming. Please make sure y'all network with each other. Thank you so much for coming. I want y'all to get,
Well, I want to do something kind of off the top.
you're going to freestyle. Go
Before we start networking, I would like if there are any of the mentor speaker folks could give some feedback to anything that they heard or saw before we start breaking for networking. So I'm going to pass the mic and see if there's anything anybody stood out to you. Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to introduce myself and why I'm up here. So pretty much I've been every last one of you. I started off as a stuntman, and I've been in 2 of the 3 Captain Americas, one is stunt, one is voice. I've worked with Warner Brothers. I've done Panthro. I was in Thundercats. All that other stuff. I probably have done every single job there is in entertainment. So when I reached out to Kevin, I really want to be able to make myself available for anybody who might be traveling down the path. If you're an actor, if you're a director or producer, my film is internationally distributed. And I shot it, and I used all my own money. And we're in different countries, so I think there's something to be said about, your mentors will come to you in different ways than you may think. And 9 times out of 10, this is an entertainment industry or entertainment business. Most of the time, the people who will come to you is when you are profitable, is when you don't need them. So it's not necessarily, people do help people out of the kindness of their heart, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be they have a problem they need solved, and then you fit that equation. And if there's a symbiotic relationships, then y'all can cook. But 9 times out of 10, there are so many people here that have that footing already, that have that voice, that have the followers, that have the credits or everything. We already know this business. 2% of your people work. That's on the actor side. I don't know about the producer side and the writing side, but 9 times out of 10, if you're going to partner with somebody, especially if they got a show over Warner Brothers, you have to come into their equation because they're setting up their own shows. I've never met a producer that doesn't have stuff in the pipeline. I've never met a director or actor or anyone that doesn't have their own stuff. So in order for them to take time out of their day to mentor you, not only do you have to be worth it, because there's a lot of people that hook people up in DMs and they have their shit together. But you have to be able to solve a problem. So that being said, I think there's some great stuff here. My only thing would be, if you're talking about yourself and you have an opportunity to be in a room, video is great. Have a link, but if you can connect to somebody and look to someone, do that. Talk to your mirror, talk to your friend, talk to your buddy. Meet someone, go to a church, make it a point to start talking and interacting with people because that's what's missing here. Especially with AI cooking, and trust me, like actors are a line item and they will replace your ads if they can. Trust me, I'm in a lot of meetings where they're thinking about doing it because you are a line item. But I think they're going to R&D a lot of things to find out what people want is connection. So my only critique would be make sure you connect. If you got an opportunity to get in front of people and talk into a important room, because you never know who's here. The next Cooper might be here, the next big producer may be here. Make sure you connect. And sometimes you have to be afraid. There's a difference between talking your shit, because you have to be able to do that confidently and succinctly, as opposed to pontificating. So that way, I would just say, make sure you can connect people, talk to each other, network, and that was it. But,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Sabrina, any comments?
Yeah, you definitely need to talk.
I want to commend everyone. This was really great to hear. Everybody had really great insight and personality. I think the number one thing that always sticks out to me, like Chris just said, is connectivity. I think I really, commend those of you who were really brave in sharing your personal stories. I think so often that gets erased in fast-paced pitching, and people think like, I should only talk about my accolades, I should talk about where I come from or what makes me the right person for this job or being in this room. And I think that is so rooted in our experiences. A lot of them really moved me, and that was really awesome to hear for me personally, my background is when I was 15, I was raped by 3 boys in my hometown, and that kind of changed the trajectory of my life really quickly. It's a very dark story, but it's not something I'm ashamed to talk about, and that's why I tell the stories that I do and why I do what I do. And I feel like a big part of everything that I create is rooted in showing other survivors and people who have experienced really traumatic experiences or feel outcasted because of what you've been through, that you can come out on the other side and that there is more to life than your trauma. So I think so many of you did a really great job of telling us about your background and where you want to go and what pushes you to do and create and connect with people. And I really admire that. And then for those of you who were talking about content creation, I love that you're talking about that. For me, I've built a platform of over 125,000 followers on TikTok, on Instagram over 40,000, and across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, as well as my production company, we have over 500,000 followers. And we kind of utilize that as a pipeline in this day and age to connect with others and create a built-in audience. And I love that a lot of you are thinking about that and looking at these new tools and how you can create for yourself right now. And I think that's really important. And I love that you guys are connecting with each other and pushing like, hey, I'm looking for this and I want to work on this thing and I'm just down to work with whoever. So I commend all of you and say like, keep going. This was awesome.
Yeah, I think everyone, even though I was late coming to it, I think it's definitely great that you guys have the ambition to get into an industry that has no guarantees. The advice that I can give, a couple of things. If you're an actor, brand consistency is very important. So just like the gentleman was saying, when you're showing your videos and what have you, if you're representing yourself as an actor, make sure that you're presenting that in front of the room as well. Whatever, because that's your brand. You don't want people to see something else and then can't really make the connection between the two. So that's the on-camera thing. Behind the scenes, if you specialize in one thing or 2 things or 3 things, that's great. Steven Spielberg knows everything from being a PA to being executive producer. There's so many different areas of production that we go into and we're not familiar with. The more that you know, the more opportunities that will be granted to you. Myself, Jay, other Kevin, we've been in all aspects of this business, and you find yourself always having to pivot. And especially when you're trying to get somebody to buy into yourself or buy into your product. It's important for you to kind of understand how to make things work, even if you don't have anyone to help you. So learn editing, learn, cameras, know what these cameras are, what they do. And even if you're in front of the camera, understand it as well. How are these cameras shooting you? How are you being presented? There's so much information that you guys need to learn. And that's even before you start jumping into the AI, which is my third and final thought. AI is a tool. It always will be. Even though technology, is kind of putting the scare about, hey, we can do it with computers and what have you, the connection is something that machines will never be able to accomplish. So if you're going to use the AI, use it as a tool. Don't use it as a replacement. Mm-hmm. That's going to be very, very important. Okay? And other than that, hey, welcome to the journey.
So first of all, I just want to say that you all did the most important thing, which is show up. Right? So the creative arts is different from a lot of other professions in the sense that you're putting yourself on display. And so it's really easy to talk about what you might do, what you feel like doing, what maybe you and your friends are going to plan, but to actually show up and present yourself and expose yourself, I commend your courage and your preparation. the two things that I noticed, first, extra props to all the writers who came up here, because I noticed that all of you kind of were very focused in your communication. There's a rule, I don't know if you guys have heard the rule of 3, but basically, human beings are only going to remember 3 things that you tell them, right? Plus or minus 2, by the way, right? They're only going to remember 3 things that you tell them. So I recognize that a lot of you felt like you wanted to tell this group everything that you're interested in, everything that you do, etc. In the future, think about boiling that down into maybe 2 or 3 things, right? And figuring out, well, what's the thing that connects those things? So it'll be easier for people to remember that and then be able to connect with you later on the things that are most important to you. By the way, that also means that you're tailoring that presentation to the environment. If you're someplace where you know the people there are mostly business folks and you're interested in finance and accounting and stuff like that, then that's all you talk about. If you're with other folks that, that are primarily writers, then you're gonna focus on that. If you're with folks who will be looking for you as an actor or as a producer or whatever, think about, in the universe of things that you could talk about, what are the things that are gonna be most of interest to them and the things where you might be able to collaborate in the future, right? So that you're not necessarily telling everybody your whole story in 90 seconds. That's super hard to do. Last thing I wanted to say is that what is naturally gonna happen when you have moments like this is it's a chance for you to kind of think about what your story is. And I see a lot of you really did do the preparation to think about what that was. I see people kind of looking at their phones like, oh, and this other thing, I gotta make sure I tell you this. Get in the habit of practicing that so you don't need the phone. When we talk about an elevator pitch, the whole idea is that there's something that, the movie that's inside you, the song that's inside you, the creative thing that you want to share, or the job opportunity, or the business that you want to start. That thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, that's the most important, exciting thing to you. The whole idea of an elevator pitch is, if the person who could make that happen for you happened to be in a stuck elevator, could you tell them and convince them to follow up with you in a minute or 2, right? By the time that elevator ride is done, will they know enough about you to want to find out more, want to talk to you, right? So if you do the preparation to be able to present here in 90 seconds, don't just leave it here, right? Keep working on it, keep refining it, keep practicing it with the other people in the room, so that in the future, when those other opportunities pop up, you're ready to just jump on those, share your story, and get people connected to you right away, right? So make this the first day of that part of the preparation.
Okay, right. Zeta, and then we're gonna have David and then Ted.
Hi everyone, I thought everyone did a really great job with their pitch, but like you were saying, it is trying to get everything quick and easy to remember. With pro wrestling, we have to do promos all the time. And with promos, we only get 1 to 2 minutes to sell whatever match that we're doing to make sure that we get people in the seats. Because at the end of the day, it's about making money. And you want to be in this industry because you want to do what you love and make money doing it. So at the end of the day, take the most important points and how the structure is something that comes with a bang. It's just like when you are watching a movie, the opening scene draws you in. So think of it like that. You're doing a little mini movie every single time you throw out a pitch. So the mini movie, you bring them in, you bring them up, and you end with something that they will remember you by. So next time, think about that when you guys do a pitch.
Okay, great. If I can get Dave and Ted to come up and give their reactions to what they saw and heard today. Both of you guys come on up at the same time because we're getting ready to eat and do some other things. Come on, guys. We guys can do it together. Do a duet.
I'm telling you, I believe everyone here did an excellent job. First and foremost, you got up here and you stood up here in front of a bunch of people that you may or may not know. That's the first thing, which is the great thing. My only thing, these gentlemen already said so much more than I could add, but I would add one last thing. How many of you know what CTA is? You know what CTA is there?
We got one person.
Okay, you got one person, okay. It's a call to action.
Oh.
So after your pitch, you must have something in your pitch that gives them what to do next. So they'll know what to do, or you know what to do. Whether you got their phone number or you give them your phone number, but something you can do afterwards, you have to follow up. Because you can pitch all you want to, but if you don't have any follow through, it kind of doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Why are you pitching? You want them to do something.
Catch.
Right? So you have to make sure you have that. That would be my only added to what they were saying.
Okay, great.
So hello everyone. I just want to congratulate all those that came up and were very courageous in speaking out. First thing I want to say is that there's no one way to do it, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, sometimes when people make mistakes, or sometimes when people are interviewed and say, I'm a little nervous, you know, people usually will say, well, that's okay, but it's enduring. When you have it all together, you know, and it's just scripted, why you come to me? What you need me for? If you got it all together, why are you here? So people, I'm talking about touching people's emotions and touching people to the point where they're willing to move for you. Generally, people want to help people that they like, and they want to help people that need help. So if you pitch yourself that you've been in all these movies, you've been in all these things, you've done all these things, then why do they need you? So I used to play professional baseball. So if I'm talking to a high schooler and he's telling me how great he is and how wonderful he is, you know, and he's all that, you know, in my mind, I'm like, little boy, you haven't even played college baseball. I have X amount of years playing professional, but we're not at the same level. So when you're before people of greatness, when you're before a person who's worked 37 years at Warner Brothers, humble yourself. Don't come to him like you're all that, because you're not. It doesn't mean you can't be. It doesn't mean you won't be. Actually, let me correct that, because you are all that inside, but it hasn't developed. But it will develop. But humility is what attracts people to you. So I want to talk about two things. Humility is not thinking less of ourselves, but thinking of ourselves less. You don't always have to be the first person. Let someone else go first. Just be humble. Humble means a modest or low view of one's own importance. Not of oneself, but of your importance. So I'm a confident man. But when this man calls me and asks me to come, I'll stay back there. I don't need to speak. I'm not that important. Because I ain't gonna cast you. I don't do casting. So I'll just take a back seat, and whatever Kevin needs me to do, I'll do it. So in closing, just cover this real quick. Understand who you're potentially pitching to. Or when you're invited to something, understand who's gonna be in the room. Research it. And if it's not your audience, don't go hard. But you should give a little bit about yourself. Sometimes you can close with, my hope is to learn more about whatever department you're in or you're aspiring to. If you're talking to that person, if they're marketing, I would like to know more about marketing, and I appreciate any advice and assistance that you can give. So the thing is in the industry, I've interviewed over 10,000 people and placed thousands in the industry, and hundreds that are now executives. And there's a belief about your generation. And so even if it's not you, you need to know potentially how you're perceived. You're entitled. So when you go and you sit down in front of a person, that's what they're thinking. You're entitled and you expect me to roll out the carpet. They're thinking that. So when you do anything that reinforces it, even though it may not be true, that's now their belief. So mix a little humility, mix a little kindness, show a lot of gratitude. And the ways you can do it is, I just really appreciate you meeting me today. I know you have a lot of people that you could be seeing, and thank you so much. These are the conversations afterwards they'll call me and they'll have. Why they like someone, why they didn't like someone. And it has little to do with their experience or their knowledge. It really does. Just as you move forward, try to imagine if you were in that place, how would you want someone to approach you? So, thank you, Kevin.
Okay, we're going to close it out with two more people. My good friend Marcelino, can you please come up? And I want to tell you a little bit about Marcelino in this assignment that he put me on. All you guys here are really here because this man's challenged me to do something that made sense to him. And he challenges me every time I talk to him about making this connection. And it's not easy to do when you're under fire. But I'm learning so much from listening and not talking. So I hope some of you guys have listened to some of the things you've heard and said, and really apply this to any networking we do here, where we can have some pizza and some juice, network with some of these folks if you can, and learn really how to make a connection if you can. And so Marcelino's the one that set this up for me. And then after him, we're going to have one of my OG apprentices I've known for 8 years, talk a little bit about what he's going to serve up. But without further ado, Marcelino.
So I subscribe to the 5 B's of public speaking. Be brief, brother, be brief. And so I came up with the idea and said, if you're going to do this, make sure it's an elevator pitch. I said 60 seconds, and we came out at 90 seconds. But I've been taking notes. Whatever. Really, all the comments that my colleagues, the other mentors and industry folks have said, spot on. But I want to add 3 more things, and then a wild card, which is the 4th one. And I'll give you the context. So I'm not a creative person, like maybe I kid myself that I am, but I'm really not. I'm a business guy. And I've hired thousands of people, just like was mentioned before. I've had to let people go, and it's been the toughest thing about being is when you have to let people go when you're downsizing. In my career, I've been at media companies, I've been the most senior ranking person of color in the whole publicly traded company. So I've had the fortune or misfortune of being in the room when you're not in there, and I hear what people say, and I have to be the advocate. So on that note, the point was made about being humble. Absolutely. In fact, in my notes, I wrote up humble. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you the grades that I gave you all, but I'm a tough grader, and I'll tell you right now, all the A's were humble. Skills. What skills do you bring to the table? If you talked about the skills that you brought to the table, but in the right context, what do? I gave you, you got a higher grade. Eager. Eager's good. But I'm going to temper it with my 4th wildcard one. So if you're eager and you're actually looking to improve yourself and you can bring something to the table, bring something to the team, you got to know that. If it's just about you, then the point was made earlier, right? Well, why are we even having this conversation? Great, you don't need me, go do your thing. But here's the one that trips up a lot of folks when they get the job, even an entry-level job. And it's the fear that executives have. It's that you're more focused on your career than you are for helping us build our business. If you're using company resources to do your side hustle, and we find out, you're out. And you don't exactly get the recommendation when you're trying to get your next job. You come to us. It's a business, 100%. I have a contrarian view about AI, which is, I look back at, this is probably before your time when people used to drive, we used to ride in taxis. I go to New York all the time, I get in a taxi. I don't step foot in a taxi anymore. Because people are collaborating with machines now to get me from A to B. So AI is all in the creative kitchen right now. And from a business perspective, companies that I've advised or helped, been on the buy side or the sell side in banking, they're looking to cut costs. So please, please, please be mindful of AI and how that's going to impact above the line and below the line. But that's about it. This has been a great exercise, and it's not easy to come up and talk about yourself and pitch. But elevator pitches are real. They happen all the time. It might not happen in the elevator. It might happen at a party. It might happen at the grocery store. You just never know who you're gonna bump into. So continue to hone it. And, okay, one last thing and I'll shut up. If you do a live demo, be careful. Be careful. You do a live demo in a business meeting with PowerPoint and you've got an embedded video and you can't get it to work, your credibility is shot. I've seen it happen so many times. So make sure you nail it on live demos. It will trip you up every single time. Always have a backup. Always think about having something redundant. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so the last person that's going to speak before we do a little mix and mingling and food is somebody I've known for almost 8 years. I met this young man almost in a boardroom. Hulu was there. A lot of other entertainment stakeholders were in the room at Santa Monica College, one of the top community colleges and four-year universities in the country, not just the state of California. And he was in this room, the 21-year-old person, and he was asking questions that most people only thinking about asking. And everybody looked around, who is this kid in this room? And nobody, was afraid to shut him up because he was asking good questions. But what I realize is that there's not enough young people like you guys who are getting access to microphones, to boardrooms, and places where they could actually maybe be part of the solutions as a focus group or just as a sounding board for some of the people making decisions for them. And that's what we've been kind of on a mission, is to find out ways for them to be involved in the decision making for the things that they're going to consume and potentially, again, lead people in the direction that they want to go to. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Shoni Doe, and he's going to talk about an AI project. So let's give him a round of applause and let's hear his
Hello everyone, it's nice to meet you. My name is Shoni Doe. I have been working with Kevin now for almost 8 years. It's kind of crazy how fast time flies. So about 2019, we came here, and I was an apprentice in the program. And unfortunately, a series of events happened. Kevin Hart got into an accident at the time, then COVID hit, the whole program tanked up. But leading up to that program, I was involved in all the processes for designing smart pipelines. I was working directly with the LA County to design a smart grant pipeline to get funding across the board, across LA County, and designing that process of how it works to help push the bill forward for getting access to arts education and opportunities. And so, working with Kevin, that's what we were doing. And it culminated here and then it fizzled out. So it is a trip, and I am humbled to be here with all you guys gathered here. And it's happened. I'm not